Excellence. I will strive for excellence in all things. Perseverance. I will fulfill commitments and not give up or act on discouragement. Please join me for a moment of silence. Okay, boys and girls, so let's get started on some spelling review, and then we'll begin our mastery test. You'll want your whiteboard and marker. And did anybody get a chance to review the words on their own? Harika, excellent work. And Rishith did too. You did not need to review them on your own, but as I mentioned, we had a shorter week of review. So it might have been good to do that. Okay, let's review some of the harder ones, some think to spells for today, beginning with petroleum. Can you all write petroleum? Since it's a mastery test day, you don't have to mark your words because we should have these mastered now. Okay, so petroleum, I see a few right spellings, but a lot of you put an I instead of an E right here. It should be an E in petroleum. Okay. Next up, let's write sufficiently. Can you all write sufficiently? Sufficiently. Should look like this. Next, let's do appropriate. 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 Check that you've got that double P, and the last part should be 8. Appropriate. Next up, let's write punctuation. Kind of bouncing around just to the ones that might be a little bit tricky. Punctuation. By the way, Dikshita, it's just, I needed to remind you at some point. Alexander, you keep unmuting for some reason, by the way. Dikshita, there is an assignment for reading on poetry notes that that you didn't attach the work on, and that's why it keeps popping up on your to-do list, because you've got to attach the picture of it, okay? So can you do that to get full credit for that assignment? Okay, thank you. That's why it's probably popping up for you over and over on your to-do list. Punctuation, check that your spelling matches mine.
Thank you for letting me know, Miss Garner.
You're welcome. Next up, let's write persistence. 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 We should have the E-N-C-E suffix. Persistence. Harika, you're so close, but you forgot the earlier of her. And finally, I know we did this one earlier this week, but let's do privilege again, since that's one that a lot of people misspell. Privilege. Privilege. Oh, I see a lot of people really close, but we think of this as privilege. You guys remember that? Can you change it to privilege if you do not have spelling that looks like that? Okay, it should look like this. There are two I's in privilege. Privilege. Check that your spelling matches mine. I saw a lot of people do an E there. That's a common mistake. Really common mistake, even for adults. But check that yours matches mine. Privilege. And rewrite it if you do not have spelling that matches mine. Okay, who feels ready for the mastery test? Okay, let's go ahead and get our paper out. Get ready for our test today. We have 33 words on the test. 33 words.
How many words?
33. 33. Can you all join me in saying our poem, The Hayloft, as you number your page? The Hayloft by Robert Louis Stevenson. Through all the pleasant meadowsides, the grass grew shoulder high, till the shining sides went far and wide and cut it down to dry. Those green and sweetly smelling crops, they led the wagons home, and they piled them here in mountaintops for mountaineers to roam. Here is Mount Clear, Mount Rusty Nail, Mount Eagle, and Mount High. The mice that in these mountains dwell no happier are than I. Oh, what a joy to clamber there. Oh, what a place for play. The sweet, the dim, the dusty air, the happy hills of hay. The Hayloft by Robert Louis Stevenson. Does anybody want to try saying the poem without looking? I'm not going to present to the poem itself. Devansh, I'd love for you to say it for us. And then I'll give Samhita a turn.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Through all the pleasant meadowside, the grass grew shoulder high, till the shining sides went far and wide, and cut it down to dry. those green and sweetly smelling crops. They led the wagons home, and they piled them here on top of mountain tops for mountaineers to roam. Here is
Clear.
Mount Clear, Mount Rusty Nail, Mount Eagle, and Mount High. The mice in these mountains dwell, no happier than I. Oh, what a joy to clamber there! Oh, what a place for play! Oh, what a place for play! The sweet, the dim, the dusty air, the happy hills of hay. The Hayloft by Robert Louis Stevenson.
Great job, Devansh. Excellent memorization of it. For the recitation next week, work on just having a little bit more expression in your voice because it's a joyful poem. It is so happy and joyful to play in the hay, don't you think? Oh, what a joy to clamber there. Oh, what a place for play. Okay, Samhita, can you give it a try next?
Yeah, I'll try. In all the pleasant meadowside, the grass grew shoulder high, till the shining sides went far and wide, and cut it down to dry. The
Green and
sweet and smelling crops, they led the wagons home, and piled them here in mountain tops for mountaineers to roam. Here is Mount Clear, Mount Rusty Nail, Mount Eagle, and Mount High. The mice that in these mountains dwell, no happier are than I. Oh, what a joy to clamber there! Oh, what a place for play! The sweet, the dim, the dusty air, the happy hills of hay. The Hayloft by Robert Louis Stevenson.
Well done, Samhita. I will do our recitations of that next week. We'll probably do it kind of early because I want to get us started on our next poem pretty soon, which is all about Earth Day, with Earth Day coming up in a couple weeks. And it's fitting that we're reading Farmer Boy too, because in Farmer Boy, they have a great appreciation for the earth and all of the natural resources. Like, they don't want to waste anything. Everything on their farm is there for a reason, and they put it to good use. So they are very good to the earth. Yes, Aryansh?
It is so close to my birthday.
I know. I think you're the only one with an April birthday, but we're coming close to it. Does anybody else have an April birthday? I think Aryansh is the only one.
Nope, but I already had it my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
My brother
Okay.
has a birthday in April too.
Who does? Your brother? Nice.
Yes, my brother.
Okay. Boys and girls, let's start on our test now. Kirthi, did you have a question before we start?
No, but my mom's birthday is coming up.
Oh, when is hers?
April 12th.
12th. Okay, very soon. That's Monday, I think. And Aryansh, yours is the 28th, right? Last week? Okay. Boys and girls, let's start our test. Get in a good ready position. Good pencil grip. Straighten up your back, stack those blocks. Yes, Dikshita? Marcus, you're in an excellent ready position. 33. Okay, our first word today is chord. Like, I know how to play a chord on the piano. Chord. Not like a charging cord, but like a musical chord. Give me a thumbs up once you're done with number 1 so I can see that we're ready to move on to the next one. Remember, it's a mastery test, so you don't have to mark them. Only mark if it helps you. Also, make sure you're writing in your clearest handwriting. Make it really clear. Okay, word 2 is embarrass. Embarrass. I hope she doesn't embarrass you in front of your friends. Embarrass. Embarrass. Okay. Word 3 is sovereign. Sovereign. Sovereign, like the queen is the sovereign ruler. Sovereign. Alexander, do you have a question?
What was word 1?
Chord, like a musical chord.
Okay.
Okay. Sovereign. Ultimate power and authority. Sovereign, reign, sovereign. Remember, like a queen reigning over her kingdom. Okay, number 4 is syndicate or syndicate. Syndicate or syndicate. There is a syndicate grouping together to make proper decisions. Syndicate or syndicate. Number 5 is immediate. Like we need an immediate decision made here. Immediate. Immediate. Richard? That should be number 5. Yes, Rishit?
What is number 1?
Chord, like a musical chord. Number 6 is gasoline. Gasoline. We need to fill the car with gasoline before we start our trip. Gasoline. Right. Deekshita, if you need one repeated, we're just going to wait until the end, sweetie. We need to keep moving forward. Okay, number 7. Thumbs up if you're ready for number 7. You should have 6 words on your paper right now. Ready for number 7. 7 is petroleum. Petroleum. Petroleum is what's used to make gasoline. Petroleum. Number 8, thumbs up if you're ready for it. Number 8. Number 8 is suitcase. Suitcase. She needs to pack a suitcase for the trip. Suitcase. Thumbs up if you're ready for the next one, number 9. Okay, number 9 is municipal. Municipal. The municipal government is the local government. Municipal. Thumbs up if you're done with number 9. Ready for number 10. Okay, number 10. Number 9 was municipal. But sweetie, you can't unmute without permission. Remember? Yes, ma'am. Number 10 is mischief. Mischief. Loki causes a lot of mischief in Norse mythology. Mischief. Number 10. Thumbs up once you're done with that and ready for number 11. Again, you don't have to mark these words since it's a mastery test, but you can do it if it helps you. Number 11 is mischievous. Yes, Dikshita? Mischievous is the word.
I just already know that one.
You knew that it was coming afterwards? Good. Mischievous describes someone who causes a lot of mischief. There was a mischievous little kindergartner who made a mess of the classroom. Mischievous. Thumbs up if you're done with number 11, mischievous. We'll wait for Devansh to return. Okay, number 12 is persist. Persist. Please persist in doing your best work until the end of the school year. Persist. It's similar to persevere in meaning. Persist means to keep at it. Thumbs up when you're ready for number 13. Number 13 is persistence. Persistence. Okay, his persistence in basketball practice paid off when he won the game. Persistence. Persistence. Okay, next up is number 14, triumph. Triumph. Number 15 is next, privilege. Privilege. It was a privilege to have the vacation. Privilege. Privilege. Okay, we are about halfway through, almost. So this is a good moment to get a drink of water if you need one. Kind of take your eyes off the computer for a little bit. Although you don't really look at the computer much during a mastery test, your eyes are on your paper. But give your eyes kind of a break for a little bit. Get some water if you need it. And then we'll keep going. We'll wait for Devansh and Harika to get back. And Marcus, are you there? Can't tell if that's you, like down at the bottom. Oh, here you are. What do you have there, Marcus? A little eagle?
No, a llama. A lily-fully llama.
A little llama, cute. Okay, well, we are waiting for Aryansh, Kruti, Harika, and Devansh to get back, but let's get ready for word 16. Are you guys at the right spot? Ready for 16? Okay. We'll get them caught up when they return. Number 16 is tranquil. It was so tranquil in the woods during the hike. Tranquil, calm and relaxing. Number 16, tranquil. Kruti and Aryansh, if you can hear me, we're starting back up with the test. Okay, number 17 is tranquility. Oh, turning it into a noun. There's tranquility at the beach that day. Tranquility. Aryansh, this is number 17, tranquility. You missed number 16, tranquil. So you can write tranquil for number 16, tranquility for number 17. Tranquility. Okay, number 18 goes along with that same base word, tranquilize. Tranquilize. So Kruti, you missed number 16, tranquil. Number 17 is tranquility. And we're on number 18 now, which is tranquilize, which is make something relax. Wow, you caught up quickly, Kruti. Tranquilize is our last one. Thumbs up if you're ready for number 19. All right, word 19 is suffice, which is like to be enough. Suffice. Sleeping for 8 or 9 hours will suffice. That's enough. Suffice. Number 20 is sufficiently, turning it into an adverb. She's sufficiently prepared for the upcoming marathon that she was going to run. Sufficiently. Thumbs up when you're ready for number 21. Number 21 is apology. Apology. Said an apology to his brother for accidentally breaking his toy. Apology. Tig?
I think you made a little mistake, and because for me, sufficiently was number 21. Or did we have sufficiently?
We did do sufficiently, yeah. I think that it looks correct on my page, so I think that you've misnumbered your page. Can you check that?
If 18
Check
is
that your numbers are right, 1 through 20.
They're all right.
So
Sufficient.
you might have a word twice then.
20.
We'll go over it at the end, okay? Let's put hands down and mute ourselves. We'll have to go over it at the end. Those numbers should be right. Number 21 is apology. Tig, you can just make it number 22. You're just going to have one extra somewhere, and I'm not sure what the problem is, but we'll figure it out. Number 22 next is apologize. Apologize. You should apologize to your friend for leaving her out. Apologize. Good, thumbs up if you're done with number 22. That's what we should have just written down. 22, apologize. Number 23 goes along with the same base word, apologetic. Turning it into an adjective. She was really apologetic. Apologetic, meaning she felt bad. Apologetic. Thumbs up once you're done with that and ready for number 24. 24. Number 24 is appropriate. Appropriate. Appropriate behavior at school is different than appropriate behavior at home. Appropriate. Number 25 is next. Who's ready for it? Number 25 is punctual, meaning right on time. You should be punctual for class every day. Punctual. Number 26 goes with the same base word. Punctuation. Punctuation. Commas, periods, question marks, and exclamation points are examples of punctuation marks. Punctuation. That should be 26 for you. Give me a thumbs up once you're done with 26 punctuation. So 25 punctual, 26 punctuation. Next, number 27, possess. Possess. Which means to own or have. Possess. Number 28 is possessive. An example of a possessive pronoun is hers. An example of a possessive noun is Sahanasri's. Belonging to Sahanasri. Okay, thumbs up if you're done with that and ready for number 29. We are almost done. We've got 5 more words. Number 29 is mortgage. If you'll remember the silent phonogram in this word, mortgage. There is a silent phonogram. Okay, number 30 is recipe. Recipe. And she had to follow the recipe for her cake. Recipe. So number 29, mortgage. Payment for a house. Number 30, recipe. Thumbs up if you're ready for 31. Okay, number 31 is cauliflower. Cauliflower. We had roasted cauliflower for dinner. Cauliflower. Next is number 32, flute. Flute. She played a flute in the school band. Flute. That was 32. Now, who's ready for 33? Last word. 33 is chandelier. Chandelier. There was a chandelier in the dining room. Chandelier. Okay, who feels like they mastered these words? 33 words. You guys are doing really well in our review time, so I think that you'll do well on this mastery test. Who thinks they know all of them well enough to read them back to the class? If you feel like I did not miss a single word, I feel really confident about them. Okay, I'll give Josiah a chance to do it. Alina, you would do an excellent job too, but I remember you've done it before, and I can't remember if Josiah has.
Number 1, chord. Number 2, embarrass. Number 3, sovereign. Number 4, syndicate. Number 5, immediate. Number 6, gasoline. Number 7, petroleum. Number 8, suitcase. Number 9, municipal. Number 10, mischief. Number 11, mischievous. Number 12, persist. Number 13, persistence. Number 14, triumph. Number 15, privilege. Number 16, tranquil. Number 17, tranquility. Number 18, tranquilize. Number 19, suffice. Number 20, sufficiently. Number 21, apology. Number 22, apologize. Number 23, apologetic. Number 24, appropriate. Number 25, punctual. Number 26, punctuation. Number 27, possess. Number 28, possessive. Number 29, mortgage. Mortgage.
Yeah, we pronounce it mortgage. Good.
Number 30, recipe. Number 31, cauliflower. Number 32, flute. Number 33, chandelier.
Well done, Josiah. I commend you for a job well done. Okay, does anybody still need a word repeated? If so, I'm going to open up the chat so you can write the number.
Mr.
Ariana, do you have a separate question?
A jacket. Yeah, and there's Mr. Bones has a jacket on him. Maybe because he has been technically not wearing any clothes. Not even skin.
Mr. Bones, he's trying to cover up. Trying to be a little more modest. And he wants to look professional. That's why. Alexander?
Next time, could I read the words?
Yes, remind me, but I'd love for you to do that.
I've ever done it.
Okay. Let me go ahead and read back the ones that are in the chat. Samhita, number 5 is immediate. Arshab, number 1 is chord, like a musical chord. Kruti, 28 is possessive. Kruti, Harika, number 25, and this is for Rishith too. 25 is punctual. Rishith, 23 is apologetic. Sahanasri, number 18 is tranquilize. Tranquilize. Emma, number 9 is municipal. Rishith, number 24, appropriate. And Emma, do you still need number 25?
I just need 28.
Just 28. 28 is possessive. A lot of people missed number 0. How did you miss that? Number 0 is your name. Let's see. Okay, I think we are caught up. Anybody else still need something repeated? Nope. Okay, make sure that you keep this in a safe spot so that you can take a picture of it later and upload it to Bright Thinker. And for well-ordered language today, we have a fun little poem that we're going to be reading together. Oh, Devant, you did make number 0 your name. So time for a little stretching and some jingles as we transition to well-ordered language. We're going to be reading a cute poem. It's actually not really a poem. It's a fable, a Hebrew fable called The Trees Choose a King. And in honor of us reading our fable, let's sing our Fable Song. It's been a long time since we've done this one. Do you guys remember the Fable Song?
The beginning goes like a fable, a fable.
That's it, yeah. Okay, I'm going to present my screen so you guys can hear it better. We'll do it a couple times. You all hear it? A fable, fable is a moral tale. A fable, fable is not a fairy tale. A fable is short, direct and clear. Animals are characters, sneaky or sincere. Teaching lessons, not to be deceived. Fables warn us not to be naive. Okay, let's try that one more time. If you don't know the words, you can look in the back of your book. Sing it along with me. A fable, fable is a moral tale. A fable is not a fairy tale. A fable is short, direct and clear. Animals are characters, sneaky or sincere. Teaching lessons, not to be deceived. Fables warn us not to be naive. Okay, so turn to page 148 with me, please. Page 148. And I'm going to present my screen so you can follow along on my book too. This little story called The Trees Choose a King. I have a volunteer to read the fable for us today.
What page?
148. I'll have Alexander read this fable for us.
Yay. So let me get there.
Okay. So, and before we read the actual fable, I'll read this part at the beginning. It says, have you heard the saying, be careful what you wish, because you might get it? Sometimes we're so sure we want something that we think we must have it no matter what. However, when we get it, we may end up regretting it. In this Hebrew fable, the forest trees decide they want a king to rule over them. So they ask an olive tree, a fig tree, a vine, and a thorn bush, each to be their leader. Which one will agree to be the leader, and will they be happy with their new king at the end? Okay, so this is a Hebrew fable. So it is a story to go along with the current country of Israel. Okay, so that's really the origin of it. So we're going to read The Trees Choose a King, and there's a little information about the types of trees too that we'll read from. Okay, Alexander, you can go ahead.
One day, the trees went out to anoint a king for themselves. They said to the olive tree, be our king. But the olive tree answered, should I give up my oil, by which both gods and men are honored, to hold sway over the trees? Next, the tree said to the fig tree, come be our king. But the fig tree replied, should I give up my fruit so good and sweet to hold sway over the trees? Then the trees said to the grape/vine, come be our king. But the vine answered, should I give up my wine, which cheers both God and men, to hold sway over the trees? Finally, the trees said to the thorn bush, come be our king. The thorn bush said to the trees, if you really want to anoint me king over you, come and take refuge in my shade. But if not, then let fire come out of the thorn bush and consume the cedars and Lebanons.
Cedars
No.
of Lebanon.
Mortal, may your month match the intentions of your heart.
Yeah, the moral of this story is that your mouth should match the intentions of your heart. Okay, so let's see what it says about these cedars of Lebanon that it's talking about. Could I have a volunteer read this section that says cedars of Lebanon? I'll have Alina read it for us.
Okay. Cedars of Lebanon. In the ancient world, this vast forest of cedar trees in the country of Lebanon supplied wood for many structures, ships, and religious ceremonies in various cultures.
Very good. Okay, so this comes from the book of the Bible, Judges, in the Old Testament. And we've got all these trees who are wanting to choose a ruler, and they really represent people trying to choose a ruler. And the first question to ponder says, why do you think the trees wanted to anoint a king for themselves? Why would you think they'd want to anoint a king for themselves or choose a king to rule over them? Ariansh?
Because I think I have two answers for this, because they see other people doing that, because a long time ago there was kings and queens. And
Very
the
good
other
point.
reason is because that they need someone to tell them what to do. Like if they do something wrong, they won't know if it's wrong if no one tells them that that is wrong.
Very good point. Yeah, that is exactly right, Ariansh. They wanted a king because they saw other people had a king. Now, to go along with the background of this, they didn't have a king like other people because God was their king. And yet the people still wanted to have a ruler. So that's why there's this story about the trees choosing a ruler. But the fig tree and the olive tree, which are good trees, they said no. Who ended up basically saying yes? Alina?
The thorn bush.
Yeah, do they really want a thorn bush to be their ruler?
I don't think so.
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of the background of this story, this little fable about the trees choosing a king. So that is our little fable for today. We are almost done with this whole unit on compound subjects. So Monday of next week, we're actually going to spend some time reviewing. And then on Tuesday, we'll take a little test on compound subjects on Bright Thinker. We're going to move on to the next unit, compound verbs, next week, which, as you might guess, is just when we have two verbs. So instead of two subjects, two verbs. And we're going to not mark it any differently other than there's going to be two predicate verbs. Okay, at this time, would you all take out, we're doing just two root cards for today, two root cards. And we're going to be finishing up our kaput words today. Now to review, first of all, what does kaput mean? Alina?
You like this one kaput, or
The
this
Latin
kaput?
word kaput. The Latin word.
Like, is it the kaput cactus or just kaput?
The Latin one?
Okay. Head.
Good. Caput capitis means head. Now the phrase kaput, if you hear that now, what would that mean? Samhita?
Off with his head.
Off with his head. That's right. Off with your head. Now, capitulate is another word we just recently learned. What does capitulate mean? You may read from the back of the card if you'd like to. Capitulate, find your root card. If you don't know the answer, you should be looking for it on the back of your root card. It has to do with the headings of something, like chapter headings. You guys remember this one? Tig?
It means like the head of something, like heading something.
Good. It's like putting the headings on a paper or in a book. It also has to do with surrendering in wartime.
I also drew this picture of the thorn bush being king.
Oh, very nice. Okay, what about recapitulate? Recapitulate means do it again. So what does that one mean, Dikshita?
To summarize or list the headings again.
Very good. Yeah, so it's basically to list those headings again or summarize. Like I could ask you to recapitulate the last chapter of Farmer Boy, and basically you would tell me the biggest important things that happened. Finally, capital. Now, for capital on the quiz, I'm also going to include like the main or head city of a country, that's capital. But we, in this definition, are focusing on money. Basically, it's head, chief, or foundation money. It's the money that's needed to start something. So that's why it's called head money. It's like the ones to begin with. Capital. Okay, 2 more words today. The first one is a food item, a vegetable. Now there is a vegetable that kind of is in the shape of a head, and so it's actually named according to that. Can you think of a vegetable that's kind of head-shaped that starts with those letters of kaput? Can you think of a vegetable like that? Alexander?
A cabbage.
Yeah, you got it. Cabbage. Cabbage is a vegetable that's, you probably see it kind of grouped with lettuces. And then you chop it up for salads, and it looks like a head, kind of.
Hence head of cabbage.
Oh, that's right. And you call it even a head of cabbage. Just like you say head of lettuce, too. When you get it in the big kind of ball-shaped, head-shaped part that it actually grows in. Okay, so cabbage is the word. Let's write cabbage. And then the definition. Yes, Alexander?
I love to eat cabbage.
Yeah?
Like,
how do you like to eat it?
Like my mom has like salad and she picks out all the cabbage for me. I just eat it.
Oh, so it's your favorite part of a salad. Nice. Marcus, can you take out an index card to write this with us? Cabbage. It comes from that word.
Off with that head.
Comes from kaput. And cabbage is basically a vegetable head, is the definition for it. Cabbage.
Vegetable.
Alexander, you're unmuted.
Seriously? Why?
Okay, so cabbage, vegetable head. Marcus, did you get that index card? We're going to have 2 for today, and the first one is cabbage, vegetable head. Show me your index card, please. Do you have that index card? Can I see it? Now, our next word is for a person who's like the head of an army because they are the leader. Can you think of what word I'm talking about? Ariansh?
Chief.
Good guess, but no. Think
General.
of something that would start like kaput. Starts with C-A-P.
Oh, I think I know.
What is it?
Captain.
Captain, you got it. Captain. A captain is basically the head of like a division, telling soldiers what to do. Marcus, for your card, please write captain. Even if you didn't get cabbage yet, I need you to write captain, okay? We think to spell captain. Now, a captain is the head of a group of soldiers. Head of a group of soldiers. Okay, so those are all of the roots for the week. We did some last week, some this week. Altogether, those kaput words. Check that you've got all of these. We should have kaput, capital, recapitulate, capitulate, kaput, the phrase, and the 2 for today are captain and cabbage. Yes, Alexander?
Last time you said we had a Kahoot game today.
You know, I don't think we're going to have time for it because we've got a new chapter of math, and I was going to give you guys a head start on your workbook pages. So it's going to take up that time. I'll try to get that for you next Friday. Okay, boys and girls, that's all for roots, and now it is math time. So would you all take out your notebook and workbook? I'm going to give you guys a head start on your workbook pages for today too. So we've got a few notes, but as far as practice, we're going to do the practice in your workbooks.
Hi, Mr. Bones.
I Jeff the Savage skeleton. Ah, he's waving. He's alive.
I should have put his arms through the sleeves.
He looks so savage.
Oh, I think it's going to be too hard to put those arms through the sleeves. Okay, math time for today. We are going to be talking about fractions. If you have your little fraction strips, you can take them out. They may be helpful for you to have a good hands-on, some hands-on fractions for today, because we're going to be talking about equivalent fractions, meaning fractions that, even though the numbers are different, they basically are the same. They are the same value. Okay, so does everybody have their math notebook? Can you show it to me? Ready to go with your math notebook today? Okay, so we're going to do some equivalent fraction practice. I will let you know when we are going to start writing. Okay, now here are some fraction strips similar to the ones that you hopefully have printed off or made on your own. Okay, it says here, what are equivalent fractions? Now, if we look at these fraction strips, there's 1 whole, 1/2, 2/4 colored here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1/8. Notice that they're all basically the same. If we were to put one on top of the other, 1/2 is the same as 2/4. Because if we divide a rectangle into 2 parts, and then we divide that same rectangle into 4 parts, 2 of those 4 parts are the same as 1/2. 4/8 are also the same as 1/2. So it says here 1 out of 2 equal parts. It's 1/2, 2 out of 4 equal parts, 2/4, 4/8. All of those are what we would call equivalent fractions. They are equal to each other. Equivalent fractions are 2 or more fractions that name the same parts of a whole. Now, we're going to get into this a little bit more later, but one way that you can tell that these are equivalent is that if you divide 2 by 2, you get 1. If you divide 4 by 2, what is 4 divided by 2? Alexander?
2.
Good, 2. So if you divide by the same number by the numerator and denominator, you get 1/2. Let's try it for 4/8. Let's divide the numerator and denominator by 2. What do we get? 2 and 4. Well, look, that's the same as this one. So dividing it by 2, and then if we divide it by 2 again, we'd get 1/2. All of these are equivalent. Or we could do it the other way around, multiply 1/2 times 2 or times 4 by both the numerator and denominator, and we would see that we have other equivalent fractions. Okay. Now, to begin with, we are basically just going to visually see which ones are equal, okay? So just by looking, you can tell these are the same amounts, right? They end at exactly the same spot. The green, blue, and red. Now, in this bar, we've got 2/3 shaded. How many, as a fraction, how much of this rectangle is shaded? As a fraction, how much is shaded? Harika, can you tell me How many parts of this are shaded? We already know the denominator, the whole amount is 6, but how many parts are there that are blue? Harika, can you unmute yourself? What fraction of this rectangle is shaded blue?
4.
4/6, that's right.
Yeah.
4/6, do you see how that's the same as 2/3?
Yeah.
It ends at exactly the same spot.
Yeah.
Because we have basically 2/3 here, but then we just divided each of those two by 2 again.
Yeah.
Now, over here, we're dividing each of these into 3 little groups, but it's still the same. How many ninths are shaded red? Which is also equal to 2/3. Harika?
3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 ninths. Good. So 2/3, 4/6, and 6 ninths are all equivalent. Okay, you can think of it like this. If you had a medium pizza, and if you divided it 3 ways, well, each of those pieces is going to be very large. But what if you divide each of them evenly again? Is this any more pizza? Just because it's 2 pieces, is it more pizza than before? No, it's the same amount. But now 2/6 are equal to 1/3, which is what's happening there. Okay, so how many sixths is equal to 1/3? Look at this image with the blue. Aryansh, how many sixths?
It's 2/6 because there's 2 parts that are shaded, but it still equals just to 1 piece, but it's divided into more parts. But it's
Exactly.
not changing.
Very good. Now this red is also exactly the same. It's just in 3 pieces instead of 1. So it's 3 out of how many now? Our denominator is going to change. How many total pieces are there now? Tig? For the red one, what will our denominator be?
The denominator would be 10.
Not quite.
So miscounted. 1, 2.
We're 1 off.
9.
Good, 9. And notice what's happening here. 2/6, well, you just multiply 2 by each of those digits and you get the answer. Now for 3 ninths, you multiply by 3 and it tells you. So can you already guess what this is going to be?
It's 12.
12, and what's the numerator?
The numerator is 4.
Notice very good. We multiplied by 2 for the numerator and denominator, multiplied by 3, and then we multiplied by 4 to get 4/12. So even if we didn't see this, we could figure out that 4/12 is equivalent, even without seeing the picture. Does that make sense, everyone? Now you have to multiply the numerator and denominator to have that equivalent fraction. Make sure it's always multiplying by the same number on top and bottom. Okay, now one more little section and then we're going to write some notes. It says here, use a number line to find equivalent fractions. This also is a helpful way of seeing what's equal. Here's 1/2. Now in this one, 2 little jumps equal the same distance, 2/4. And here, 4/8. 4 little jumps equal the same distance. And 2/8 is the same as 1/4. So the number lines show 1/2 is equal to 2/4, which is equal to 4/8. Okay. It says, copy the number lines on grid paper, fill in the missing fractions on the number line. We're going to be doing a little bit of this in your notes now. Okay, so this is yesterday's. I'm going to flip that. Now, please take out your math notebooks and we're going to write a few quick notes. And then most of our practice, once again, is going to be in our workbook. But in your math notebook, let's write a header. Today's date is April, not 8th, sorry, 9th.
For this one.
This is lesson 14.2. Yes, Josiah? Yes, Josiah, you can unmute.
I didn't see anything. Just click the raise hand button on accident.
Oh, okay. Okay, first for our notes, we're just going to write equivalent fractions. Two or more fractions with the same value. Okay, equivalent fractions, two or more fractions with the same value. Marcus, can I see your pencil? Show me your writing, your notes. Remember that once I start writing, you should start writing. Thank you, great job. So there's our definition, and then we're going to do two examples, one of like the fraction strips, and then another of the number line.
Can you zoom out so I can see the other parts of it?
That's all for now, just this part. Thumbs up if you're done with the definition of equivalent fractions. Okay, so for the examples, let's do 3 bars. You don't need to use a ruler, but try to make them as equal as possible so that you can visually see So I'm trying to make that as even as possible. Now 1/2, and then I'm going to draw straight lines down for the other two, but make these a little small. Oh, I was going to make this one the 4ths. And I'm going to do little dotted lines to cut those in half. And then copy that right there. But then do dotted lines again. So there end up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts in that last one. And I'll just put 1/4 and 1/8 to show those. Okay? Marcus, come on, we're going to keep persevering. You're a little bit behind, so we can't just lay our head down. You've got to catch up, okay? You are a fast worker, so I know you can catch up really quickly. So 1/2 is the same as 2/4, and it's the same as 4/8. So we'll write that on the side. 1/2 equals 2/4 equals 4/8. Okay, once you're done with this, can you show it to me so I can see we're done with it? And we are going to also do it as a number line because you're going to see that in your workbook some.
Could you zoom in a bit?
Is that better?
Yeah.
Great job, everybody. Looks like Devansh, Dikshita, Alexander, Alina. Thank you all for showing me your work. Everybody else, if you're not finished yet, just keep plugging away. I will wait for you guys to finish before we start the number lines. And then that will be the last part of our notes once we do number lines. Great job, Emma. That looks perfect. Marcus, we can't have time of just sitting there. We have a short time and we need to get our work done during this class time. You can't just sit there. Thank you. I see a thumbs up or that you're writing. Great job. Excellent work, Tig. And apologies if you are working and your screen is frozen. Sometimes that happens. Yes, Alexander?
I'm so sorry. It just keeps on muting for some reason.
You might be leaning against your keyboard. If that's the case, just try to keep your hands kind of further away from the
I
keyboard.
think it's that because I'm going like this, but not really on my keyboard. So maybe, but I'll see what happens next.
Okay, once you're done with that, I'm going to draw an example of the number lines too, because we're going to see fractions on a number line quite a bit. Here is a number line with arrows at the end, starting at 0, 1/2 is in the middle, and 1 is here. And then we'll do 0, 1, and then we'll cut each of these parts in half again. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 parts now. Actually, we'll just do 2 little hops on this one to show that 1/2 is the same as 2/4. Here's 1/4, here's 2/4. And then one more to show 4/8. Try to line them up as well as you can. And I'm going to line up 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and then cut them in half again. So each of those try to kind of cut in half. And now it's 1, 2, 3, 4 hops that gets you to that same spot. 5, 6, 7, 8. As you can see, it's 8 parts total. So this is 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. So that also shows equivalent fractions, but on a number line now. Once you're done with those number lines, hold yours up so I can see. Great job, Alexander. Marcus, this is the last part of the notes, just those number lines. And then if you finish this, you'll be able to start on the workbook pages with us. And my goal is that you're actually not going to do any workbook pages after class, that we'll finish them all in class. That's my goal. You guys think we can do it? Alexander, you don't think so? That's honest. I'll put it in bright thinker just in case. So 1/2, 2/4, and 4/8 all end at the same spot. Okay. If you're done, you can open up to page 93 in your workbook so that you can take a look at what we're going to do next. This is our practice. So we've got our notes. Those should hopefully help you as we continue working with equivalent fractions, some good visuals. Your fraction strips are also really good for this, though. Does anybody need this longer? Okay, looks like we're all done. Now, the first part of your workbook page says to shade the parts to show fractions equivalent to 1/4. So basically, they already show you 1/4, and then you're shading in that 2 will make that equal to 1/4. And then it's 2/8. Let's try that with these circles. Now this is 1/5. Let's count up how many parts there are here. And the whole number is going to be your denominator. Who knows what the denominator of this is going to be? Devansh?
The denominator of this is going to be 10.
Great. There are 10 parts. Now, how many parts would we shade to equal this amount? And for those of you who are already ready for that multiplication trick, basically think through 5 times what equals 10, and then that's going to show you what will be on top as well. Josiah?
It's 2.
Good job, 2. And let's shade in 2. Oh, sorry. Okay, and now for the last one. Marcus, what do you think this is going to be? We multiplied by 2 on both the top and the bottom to get a new fraction of 2/10. What do you think this will be? And if you're not sure, just count up all of the parts to see what that denominator is. Are you on page 93? So close, Marcus. You're just one off.
So
Does
15.
anybody know what it is? What is it, Marcus?
It's 15. Then
15, you got it. And notice we multiplied by 2 to get 10. Now we're multiplying by 3 to get 15. So what do you think the numerator will be? What's 1 times 3?
3.
3. Now, Marcus, show me your workbook. You should be on page 93 with us. Do you have your workbook?
93. Great.
Because we're filling this in together. Otherwise, you have a lot more to do for homework. Okay, and let's color in 3 of these to be 3/15. So far, is this making sense? Thumbs up or thumb sideways if you're feeling a little confused, or down if you're not doing well with this. Having a hard time. Okay, I see a couple thumb sideways. Let's see if this next part is going to be a little more clear. Okay, I'll have Kruthi help with this one. Kruthi, can you read the instructions for number 2?
Divide the second bar into 10 equal parts. Shade the parts to show a fraction equivalent to
Perfect.
2
We read it as 2/5.
2/5 right
Perfect.
fraction.
Okay, now this is already in 5 parts. We need it to be in 10 parts. How do you think we're going to draw that?
What?
We have a fraction with 5 parts here. We need it to be 10 parts. So let's start by making lines exactly like this one. And how many times, or how many more times do we need to have little groups for this?
One more time.
Okay, so basically, we're going to divide each of those into half again. And now that's going to get us to 10. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, Sahanasri, can you unmute yourself, sweetie?
Okay.
So we now have 10 little equal groups. How many of them are going to be equal to 2/5?
4.
Good, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you see how that looks the same?
Yeah.
And it also is double this amount. 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times 2 is 10. You see that? Visually, it should look the same, but it also needs to be the same if you multiply by the same number on both top and bottom. Okay. Thank you very much, Sahanasri. Emma, could you help with the next one? We're going to divide this into how many equal parts? Number 3.
12 equal parts.
So 12 is going to be twice as many as 6, right? 12 is 2 times as many as 6. So let's start off by drawing lines going all the way down, just like this. And then what are we going to do?
Look up so I can see.
Is that better?
Mhm.
So let's draw basically lines straight down, copying this one. But we want it to be twice as many little boxes. So draw another line halfway through that box. And now we have, instead of 6 equal groups, 12 equal groups. And Emma, I'll have you help with the next part once you're done drawing out those 12 boxes.
I did it.
Oh, you did it, perfect. How many of them are going to equal 5/6? If you need to shade it until you find the number equal to it, you can, or you can see with multiplication what it's going to be. And I want everybody else to be thinking of the answer too. Okay, I'll have Arshab help with this answer, actually. Arshab?
The numerator is 10.
Very good. Now there are 2 ways we could have figured that out. What did you do, Arshab?
Okay, so on the last question, on question 2, I figured out that we shaded 4 parts and the numerator was 4. And in this question, we shaded 10 parts. So the numerator should be 10.
Very good. You can count up how many you shaded to be at the same place. Now you can also multiply to figure it out. Because if you know that 6 times 2 is 12, then you can also multiply 5 by 2 to figure out what the numerator is. Okay, so those are the 2 ways. You can do it like Arshab, counting up how many boxes were shaded, or multiplying. We're going to get to this more next week, that multiplication strategy. Okay, finally, down here, we've got the same amount for all of these. Even though this does look like more is shaded, it's actually no more. Now, Dikshita, 3/4 is the same as 6 what? What is the denominator missing here? You can just count up how many parts there are.
8.
Perfect, 8. And if you use multiplication times 2 for that, you could also multiply 4 times 2 to see that it's 8. Now in this one, the numerator is missing. Rishith, what's the missing numerator for this fraction?
It's 3.
Not 3. Now we can either count up how many pieces are shaded, or Rishith, using multiplication, tell me 4 times what equals 12? Rishith, 4 times what number equals 12?
Four times 3 equals 12.
Perfect. Now, if 4 times 3 equals 12, we've also got to multiply by 3 at the top. What's 3 times 3?
Nine.
Good. Notice I'm going back to this one each time. 9 is what we would put in the blank. And if you count up all of the shaded parts of the circle, you would also find an answer of 9. Who got an answer of 9 by counting up those shaded parts of the circle? Good. Okay, now in this one, finally, it's the denominator that's missing. Now, you could count up every single part of it, and you would find the answer. But you could also use that multiplication strategy and think 3 times what equals 12? You'll also have to multiply by that at the bottom. Who can tell me the answer? I'm going to give everyone a moment to get that denominator, and then we'll share the answer once everybody finishes. Marcus, Josiah, do you know what the denominator is? Sahanasri, can you think about what the denominator of this one is going to be? And Emma, what's the answer?
Mm. 13?
What's the denominator?
13?
No, good guess. It's not 13. Josiah?
16?
16, you got it. Now, if you count up every part, it would equal 16, but you can also multiply 3 times 4 to equal 12, and we would also multiply by 4 here. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, well done, everybody. Alexander was right that we didn't end up having time for all of the pages. So you're actually going to do 95 and 96 on your own. I'll have that in Bright Thinker as a reminder. So we did half of the pages together. For this next part, you're going to be focusing on number lines. Any questions before we go? Yes, Devansh?
95 is easy. I looked at it. It's very easy.
Yeah, 95 should be quite easy. All you have to do is write 3 things. You don't really have to solve. But 96 will take a little bit more time. Yeah, and we'll go over the answers to that one on Monday, just in case anybody's confused by it. Okay. If there's no other questions, have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Bye, Miss Gardner.
Thank you guys for persisting and working so hard in class. We are going to still have reading groups, so if you're in a Friday reading group, Emma, Harika, and Sahanasri, just the 3 of you will stay. Bye, everybody else.
Miss Gardner, I
Bye,
finished
Miss
all the
Gardner.
pages.
I already